Hello ladies and gentlemen, just wanted to do a quick first impressions video on Bannerlord, the new Mount and Blade game out. So let's just get right into it. Pros: much better animations, especially the horses. Vast improvement over Warband in this category. The game also has real physics now, which is another huge improvement over Warband, which was pretty much all just pre-made animations if I recall correctly. The town's very nice. They're all large, unique, and packed with details. Ditto for the taverns. You can really see they put a lot of elbow grease into this aspect of the game, and I especially like the Empire's towns. I don't know if I'd consider this a pro or a con, but the faces in this game are some of the most medieval faces that I've ever seen. I think this one could actually be a pro, as it lends itself well to the Monty Python-esque humor of the game. This game has much better graphics when compared to Warband. Unfortunately, they're still pretty terrible for a 2020 game, but I mean, what can you do? It's Tale Worlds. They're not exactly known for their graphical fidelity. The music is great. You can tell that it was heavily inspired by the work of Basil Polidorus, and especially the soundtrack that he created for the 1980s Conan the Barbarian movie. And I'm a pretty big fan of that movie, so yeah, I like the music in this game. It's good. Now we get into the cons, and there are plenty of them. There is a fraction of the items, weapons, and armor in the game from what vanilla Warband had, although I will say that the armors that are there look very nice. Despite the map being bigger, the world feels smaller and more claustrophobic. I think that this is due to an overabundance of mountain and river choke point corridors. Also, there's no camping, and no books anymore either. Although I'm sure they will be added later, it's still an auto mission. Companions are randomly generated named characters whose backstory is flavor text. I'm not even joking. It's pretty terrible, and all it does is make me miss the unique companions from Warband. Hopefully mods can fix this in the future. I understand that Tale Worlds was limited as they had to accommodate the fact that companions can die now, but it's still very disappointing. I feel like they should have kept heroes immortal, as it worked fine in the previous game, even if it wasn't terribly realistic. The UI is hideous. In fact, it's even worse than the UI in Warband in my opinion. Warband's UI was dated, but it was efficient, whereas the UI we have now just feels clunky. Loading screens are everywhere in this game. They don't take terribly long, but it's still annoying to have to deal with something like this in a 2020 game, especially considering the much older Warband did not have this problem. The characters in this game are ugly as sin. I know this was the case in Warband as well, but you think it's something that they would have focused on more. As it is now, everyone has lopsided faces and weird eyes that look like they are bugging out of their heads. Uncanny Valley tier. Warband's faces were ugly as sin as well, but I was never bothered by them, and they didn't prevent immersion. In Bannerlord, race or phenotype does not exist, and the faces end up making everyone look like they share the same grandfather. A new character creator cannot come fast enough. Banded enemies are rare, and never above 20-person groups, at least from what I saw. However, I also saw some people on VG and other gaming forums posting pictures of lords with 1,000-troop doomstacks, so do with that what you will. Also, the archers in this game are laser accurate, so make sure you bring a shield for yourself and equip your infantry troops with shields if you're going to go anywhere near an archer. The advantage to this, of course, is that you can run an army of archers like forest bandits and absolutely stomp enemy infantry. This game can be very unbalanced, although I can't be too hard on them with this one, because Bannerlord was not exactly the definition of balanced either. Absolutely ridiculous amount of bugs. Corrupted saves are a common issue, and the game just loves to crash if you even look at it incorrectly. The game is also horribly optimized, at least in my experience. I found that the game has this weird issue with micro freezes and stuttering. This was somewhat alleviated by fiddling with my sound settings of all things, which I made a video tutorial on if you want to do the same. The framerate is also not great considering how bad this game looks. Constant framerate dips. In menus I get up to 200 FPS, but then it dips to near zero randomly, especially when executing actions. On the campaign map it's around 70 FPS, but constant dips when I move. In battles, both the sound and FPS stutter a lot. Weirdly, it gets silky smooth at the end of the battle with less dips. It's just annoying because I can play a game like Kingdom Come Deliverance or Metro Exodus and not have any framerate issues whatsoever, and then I play this, and my computer grows straight into Microfreeze City. It's especially annoying as my specs all meet or exceed the recommended specs. I wish game devs would be a little bit more honest with their system requirements, as this game would be pretty much unplayable on the minimum specs. That being said, this is an early access game. I wanted Warband with more detail and more features, and it's got the bones to be just that. If they manage to actually put content in at a reasonable rate, I'll be fine with the price tag. Okay game, but it's not spectacular, and it's very clearly early access. Like I said, the foundations of this game are good, and there's a lot of potential here. And it's true that the mod community is a huge part of what made the original Mount and Blade so good. But I can't lie to you guys, the vanilla experience of this game is pretty bare, although I still found it to be quite entertaining. But the main question is, should you get the game if you already have Warband? And to be perfectly honest, I don't know if you should. I would recommend that you try not to buy into the hype and at least watch a Let's Play or something like that, so you can really decide if it's worth it to you. Anyways, thanks for listening to my rant. I know this video is kind of chaotically structured, but I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. Have a nice night, and be sure to like the video if you agree or were informed by this, and also subscribe for more interesting content.